All right, we're here. Have you ever had this thought? What if you put God first? And now, when I say first, I'm talking before everything. What would happen in your life if you truly leaned into that? That's what I've been working on, and I'm excited that I have this circle that right now is aligned because it's me and Dr. Vibe, and we'll see whoever else shows in. But we've got this circle, and that's what we're talking about. What if you put God first in your life? What would it really bring forward? So let's talk about it. Peace.
When I am asked to speak, I embrace the calling. It is my responsibility to make sure to leave everyone inspired to elevate in all aspects of life. In the 26 states and 10 countries, it has been my energy that is infectious and magical. The impact elevates everyone to new heights. It's time to conquer our challenges. Relationships across the board, communication gaps, fear of the unknown, limited beliefs, and all that holds us hostage in life. The path to power is peace, and peace is the power to live by. The unique perspective that I bring to the table inspires all, professionals, executives, students, coaches, and athletes to reach their highest potential. That is why I, Sid McNairy, am known as the secret weapon. Whether it is tackling mental health issues, success in business, or winning at life, every moment counts. Get ready to receive the tools to win. It's time to win at everything. Let's connect today. Peace.
Hello, my name is Miles. Discover a powerful journey of resilience, purpose, and spiritual growth in the autobiography of a human by Sid McNairy. In this compelling autobiography, McNairy shares the personal challenges and triumphs that shaped his path to success while offering insight for professionals seeking deeper meaning and balance in their own lives. Drawing from his experiences growing up Catholic, participating in indigenous vision quests, and studying the Buddhist path, he reveals how diverse spiritual traditions ultimately guide us toward the same destination: connection with the Creator and our highest selves. Through practices such as meditation, yoga, and spirit medicine, McNairy demonstrates how life's victories and hardships can become opportunities for growth, self-discovery, and lasting peace. The autobiography of a human is more than a memoir. It is an inspiring reflection for professionals striving to align purpose, personal development, and inner clarity. Available now on Amazon, this transformative story invites readers to reflect, grow, and step confidently onto their own path of self-discovery and peace.
All right, here we are. I am wondering what's going on with being live. And Dr. Vibe, maybe you can help me out here.
What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, Sid?
What's up? I'm trying to figure out how to get this to go live on IG when up on the top it says you are live.
Oh.
But then it says once you're live and the stream is public, you'll find it at the top of your feed on Instagram. And I am not finding that.
Whoa. I have to be totally honest. I do not live stream to Instagram that often. It's once in a while. Part of it is now it's showing on the top that it's brought. Is there a check mark beside your Instagram?
Yep.
Okay. And what Instagram account are you wanting it to go live on?
Sid McNairy.
Okay. Let me just check on my own Instagram feed and see if it's live. Let me just check. Okay, let's just check. Okay, that's your account. It's not showing that it's live. Okay. Oh, that's your son. I was looking at your son's account, not yours. Okay. Okay, let me.
I told you, Leotis is fasting. He said, make sure you're connected, but I am connected.
Okay,
Because
let me
he's
look.
got the check mark.
Yeah, let me just. Okay, hold on. Is it? No, it's not on there. But and you have the correct. So this could down a rabbit hole. This could take a few moments. Let me just. Okay, let me just do this.
Oh, hold up. It says, once you're live, you'll find it at the top of your feed on Instagram.
It may be to Instagram, yeah, because I don't do it a lot. Help center. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna try to remove it and re-add it, I think.
Okay. I'm also how does she? She says open Instagram on your computer, create live on the left menu, click live video. If you do not see these options, you may need to switch your account to a professional account. Add your did you add a title and all that stuff?
Yeah. I'm gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna edit it.
Okay. Hold tight, audience. We'll eventually start chatting.
I want to see if I can get this done. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Folks, our conversation topic today is what if you put God first? Myself and Sid, and we're going to have some others join us. We're going to be chatting about that. That's our conversation topic for today. So looking forward to always insightful conversation, not only between Sid, who join us live, but also in the comments section. We want to appreciate everyone who takes the most important thing, their time, to hang out with us. So we don't take it for granted. So we try to give you the best that we got, and you can give us whatever you got.
all right, now it says that I'm go. Let's see. And it should be in my feed. Still no bueno. So we're just gonna wrap this as if we are. I'm gonna try one more thing because it says that you could go live. Oh, that could be it. All right, Instagram, we just made it. Do we make it?
Yes, you are live.
That's what's up. Okay.
We're live on Instagram. I see us live on Instagram on my phone. There we go.
That's cool. So what has to happen is you really shouldn't add Instagram until last minute.
That's right.
Because when you go live, you need to go live.
Yeah.
So it's a double live, which we are in a double live, and perfect timing because Tony's in
the house. You see, we did the warm up. We were the appetizer. The main course is in the house.
Also, good to see you guys. Sorry, I run a master class with Brad on lead gen. It's not lead generation. It's a CRM, and it's called the Relationship Revolution. And it ran late today, so sorry about that.
That's all good. A question, because I sent him a message, but he obviously didn't get it because you all were in the master class, and I was saying, "Hey, tell him to come in." You didn't get the message either.
I didn't. I did invite him and the other guy that was there to jump in and watch, but I can text Brad, see if he's available.
Love it. All right, so here we are. We're in the conversation. What if you put God first? And I'll kick it off. And so for the last really 2 hardcore weeks, I've been just really making that leap. Like, all right, what if I put God above everything that comes in the thought. And that's just where it is. So I'm watching what's happening, and it's been interesting because it's taken a real surrender, right? Like a whole different level of surrender than I've ever really experienced. Because I'm usually I'm usually putting effort towards making things happen. And so at this point, but then I'm watching how walking into places, the only reason I'm there is God. So I'm watching it almost become magical in a whole nother way. Like, not, I'll explain more, but I want to give you all a chance to start into this thought process.
Tony, you want to kick off?
Yeah, I'll jump in. By the way, Sid, I like your helmet, because look at the guy sitting behind me. You got your helmet right next to it. I got my own. Actually, that's wearable, which is kind of cool. Anyway,
that is awesome. Right.
So I've considered taking it out of it because it does look kind of ominous.
Nah, you got to, at least you got to put it in the men's circle.
Yeah.
You
So
can take it down any other time, but bring it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I bought that a few years ago. Anyway, for me, the operative word that you said there is surrender. Man, every time I would hear surrender, I'm like, no, I don't want to freaking surrender. I'm not about surrendering. I'm not a quitter. I'm not surrendering. No, I'm going to go down in flames. And then you realize that what surrender really means is just to breathe and to let go of things that you can't control. And it's still something that I'm working on, because God knows, there's challenges that come up in life. And Sid, you and I were chatting via text, albeit via text, 2 days ago. By the way, great pull yesterday. Not a couple of days ago, it was yesterday. Great pull, because, well, now you kind of know a little bit of the background, what was happening. Yeah, sometimes it is really about surrendering. And, and it brings me back to that term, let go, let God. Now, I'm still not as good at that as I'd like to be. Yet the idea of surrendering is just letting go of the need to be the person that's trying to fix everything. And I've gotten a little better at kind of letting go and letting things kind of work out instead of being the fixer, right? Because I'm the guy that's always trying to fix something or make it better or improve. And I'm starting to learn, I've been learning that sometimes it's not about fixing. Sometimes it's just about letting things be and letting things work out, and letting people kind of stew sometimes in their stuff and not fixing it for them, because maybe there's that lesson that they've got to learn, right? And that's a lesson that I'm learning along the way as well. And I am getting better at kind of letting go. Not there, not where I'd like to be yet. And there's a book by Michael Singer, which is, oh my God. Hold on. I want to give you the title, but now I'm not remembering it. The Untethered Soul. There you go.
Yeah.
The Untethered Soul. And it does talk about, forgiveness and letting go. And it's a great read, and it really is about sometimes just letting go of the things you can't control, because that's the maddening thing. And we as men, sometimes more than women. I'm not saying not to take away from women, because I know women are always fighting and struggling, and they've got their own battles and whatever. And I thought, at least for me, I'm that fixer. I want to fix the problem. I want to find the solution. I want to be the hero, if you will, right? Not to be the hero, but I want to be the fixer. Somebody is struggling. They're going through difficult times. I want to jump in and help. Yet I've found myself in places that I should not have helped. I should have let that play out because they needed that lesson. And if you prevent them from learning that lesson, they're just going to learn it later on. And then you want to be the bad guy anyway. So surrender is a big word that I've been leaning into more over the last couple of years, but it was a word that I absolutely refused. And part of my story, Sid, when I was going through that battle, surrender was not a freaking option. I'm like, hell no, I can't surrender. Surrender is death. Surrender is failure. And it's really not. Sometimes it's just letting things play out.
Dr. Vibe?
Yeah, I'll it's always interesting because whenever I follow Tony, he always adds some things. I say, okay, I gotta carry on what he started. One of the toughest things for many men, and Tony said, surrender. I think when you make a decision to follow God, is the word submission. And I under a mission. So I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what Tony said about surrender and submission can be very challenging for a lot of men. It can be some of our biggest challenge because, as Tony said, a lot want to fix things, and if it isn't fixed, it's a sign of weakness. I couldn't do that. I wasn't able to solve the problem. So that's one part I want to touch base on. Part I want to chat on is the whole thing about priority and alignment. So I put it out there to people who are watching live or on replay. What does it actually mean to put God first daily in daily life? Not just in, getting that framework where God becomes the reference for your decisions, your values, and your identity. And then also another thing I want to just touch lightly on is character before image. Many men for success and being seen as strong, but a godly character matters more than public image. Again, are we ready to submit to that thought that a godly character means more than public image? So I'll just leave it there for now.
Awesome. Welcome, Brad. I know this is first time here, and grateful you were able to jump over from yours and Tony's mastermind and be here. And we're talking about what if you put God first. And both Tony and Dr. Vibe and myself, we all kind of poured into a thought around that. If you feel ready to jump into it, go for it. Otherwise, we'll continue. Jump in when you're ready.
No, I absolutely will. This weekend we had the Life Surge event. Have you seen this thing kind of running around the country? Life Surge. It's got Tim Tebow, been in the Super Bowl a few times. Willie from Duck Dynasty. And so it's basically a Christian-based business conference, and it's like all day long. It was like 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. And yeah, anytime I can have God involved in anything I'm doing, I'm there. Now, I kind of grew up grade school to like 6th or 7th grade in a Lutheran school in a little town in York, Nebraska. So we basically went to church every Sunday, sat in the upper back pews, and me and my little brother would draw little pictures when we were little, did Sunday school, did all that stuff. So God's always been a part of my life. And even at when I started having kids, college faded out from church, that kind of stuff. When I had my first child, from that minute forward, I was back into church. And then I got really involved in Vacation Bible School. I would lead classes at Vacation Bible School. I just loved hanging out with the kids and making it fun. And really, it was more for the Kool-Aid and the cookies, though. But I'll be honest. So God's been a part of my life forever. He's not like I'm not worthy. I don't read the Bible every day. I can't even quote most scriptures, but I could tell you every Bible story book, probably, just about. So I love even going to church when I'm hearing parables and stories, and you're like, oh man, I don't remember that. So I always look into that a little more, but I don't do it enough. But I do. He's always there. And I'll just leave one real quick thing. How he's involved was in 2015. I had a situation where my wife of 20 years and business partner of 20 years had gotten in a car accident. She survived the accident, but it was a head-on collision. So it was a pretty good one. And after surgeries and all that stuff and about 2 weeks on crutches, she had gotten off. Her hip surgery was good. About 2 weeks after kind of getting back to normal, she just didn't wake up one day. And I remember that day because she was having trouble sleeping, and her and my daughter had stayed up and binge watched some Netflix series and watched it all the way till like 2 a.m. I was like 11 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going to bed, girls. So that morning she was snoring like pretty heavy, and she had just had some nose surgery. So I thought, okay, I'll just keep an eye on it, and didn't really hear any pauses. It was just a solid truck snorer, like a trucker snoring in bed. Kept an eye on it. My daughter came down about 10:30. About 10 o'clock, I was like, all right, gosh, do I wake her up? I mean, she's sleeping good, right? Then my daughter came down at 10:30 and goes, hey, why isn't she up yet? And I'm like, man, can you hear her? She's like sleeping good. How late did you guys stay up? It's like, oh, like 2. And she went over there and she goes, Dad, her lips are a little blue. And I went, what? And so I walked over there and we started looking and tried to wake her up and didn't get a response. And I'm telling you, that moment right there was where it really changed for me, because I chose real estate, not going to school to be a doctor, had no clue what to do here. I mean, no response, but she just kept breathing. And I just said, this was the first time like I really said, I guess I'm in this ride with you. You're leading, take over the reins and let me know where we're going. And it was freeing for me, because I knew there wasn't anything I could do to change that moment right then. Only that would be a 5-month ride with her in a coma and not get her back. So he's always been a part of my life, and that's where I feel. Oh, and then really there's a lot. There's a whole movie here, guys. Like it may come out in some future stuff, but I just remember even going to church, and I swear like this opening just kind of opened up like to heaven. And it's like, it gives me chills talking about it, because I was like, wow, this is like weird. Like I've got a connection to her in heaven right now. It was just weird. Like it's almost like I had to think about going to church again. It's like, whew, that was weird. Like I could have gotten sucked up into it and seen what heaven looked like. That's how clear that was. But there's some wild heavenly things that have happened. I really do believe she was an angel sent to earth. I don't know if it can happen, Sid, but an angel sent to earth because she did something good in heaven, and they said, all right, you get to go play again, go be something good for somebody. She was literally, that 20 years was why my current wife Lynette was going through her really bad 20 years. So I honestly, not to take anything away from Sonia, but I do believe she was here for a stint to get to this point, which really sucks when you think about that. But I do believe she was an angel that earned wings. And then we had a daughter together, and I'm like, I was like starting to look for books. Like, can human beings like procreate with angels? I don't even know if this is possible, because our daughter was an angel, red flowing hair, light skin, freckles, blue eyes, just beautiful. She's getting married this weekend. But yeah, so that was pretty tough on her, losing her mom, because she was like her shadow. And anyway, there's just a lot of there's some really like godly things that have happened. So I know she's got this connection with us for sure.
Right on. No, thank you for sharing.
I'm kind of heavy. You just had me come in there. I just unloaded.
It's all good. That's the circle. That's why we're here. And you know, I love that you expressed it. Like sometimes it does take that real deep moment that pushes us beyond where we have gone thus far. I mean, I know for myself, when I went blind for the second time is when it got real. It was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm older now, not just this reckless kid that says, oh, I went and saw a guy, God said he's got me, so I'm good. And it came back. This time it was like, I don't know if God still got me, because it's the second time. Like, so I get it. And but what, you know, Dr. Vibe, you asked a question. What was that question?
Yeah. So what does it actually mean to put God first in daily life, not just in words?
Right. So because I've made that level of commitment here recently. And I'd have to say that means everything else becomes secondary. Everything. Like you can't say it's first and then when somebody comes to you and you put them before the thought of God. Like that's not first. Or life goes and no, God's first. So how does it play out for me? I wake up and I'm working in this book. I'm actually doing it for 52 days, but it's 52 weeks of Yeshua. And so that's part of it. I wake up, I write in my journal, dream days. I write the day as if it was all there and taken care of. And then I go and sit for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours of just listening to the Creator. And then I go and walk the day and see how right now it's literally, all right, God, show me. Like this, I'm following you, so just show me, put me where I need to be. Yesterday I was supposed to go sub a class for somebody, and she had to go somewhere. And then I realized this other thing came that I felt and heard that I should be there. And Liz confirmed. She's like, hey, we should go to this. So I'm like, okay, there it is. So I cancel subbing for this class. Now, 2 people fly in from California to come take the class that I canceled. So it ends up that the lady that flew in, management from California, flew in and she subs the class. So now all the people get to take her class. She comes and takes my class today, this earlier, and it just all worked perfectly. Like, I mean, we're designing a building. We go into the meeting last night, hundreds of people there, and the lady says her vision, and I'm like, I'm looking at excavated ground where she is building the building. I couldn't make it up, but I had to listen to it say, nah, cancel that class. That I really need, in my mind, people flying in from California, I should be teaching that class, right? Like there's no question in my mind. Even as I sit here now on the other side, knowing that I canceled it, she taught it, she showed up today, and then gives me feedback and everything else. And she's like, hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I have no constructive feedback. Like, there is nothing to make your class better from my view. Like, so it all worked out perfectly, and I'm just listening to that. And afterwards, she's like apologizing because she didn't feel like she had anything to help me get better. And I'm like, actually, the truth of the matter is, I've yet to embody that, right? Like I don't walk around like, hey man, I'm gonna teach you the best yoga class on the earth. Like, get ready, here it comes. And so I just really feel like that's what's happening for me. Like putting God first, I'm being put in places and I'm being stretched. And what keeps playing in my head, and you guys may know him because you're all been on Clubhouse, but Tommy Jackson, you guys know him? Music guy, keynote. But anyway, Tommy one day had his accounting firm and was like, all right, we need to move forward. We getting some interesting comments from the Peanut Gallery on YouTube, and it's okay.
It's all right. They're projecting what they're
absolutely.
Hey, they don't realize that they're adding to your viewer count. So keep on going.
Yeah, right on. And so I come back and Tommy says to me, he says, hey, look, this kind of what it looks like to say God first. So he hears this voice say, I can give you more than you could ever dream of. So instead, like Tommy's sitting there ready to sell his business for, I'm just going to say it, $400 million. Like that's no chump change, right? And then But God says, no, don't sell it. Don't sign that. Wait and watch. So he goes out to lunch by himself. A guy sees him and says, hey, I've been looking for you. I need to talk to you. The guy is actually dying and gives him a check for $405 million and says, I don't have anyone to leave this to. I want to leave it to you because I know you'll do well with it. Takes it to the bank, cashes it, $405 million. So God just proved it. I can do more than anything. And then turns around and goes back to the office, and someone walks in and actually gives him the $400 million. So now he goes from 400 to 805 million because he leaned into God. You know, so that's what it looks like for me. Like really letting go of thinking I need to do something and letting it be done. You know, like I know that sounds to the guys on YouTube, it sounds interesting, yet that's where it is for me, for real. Like at this point, I feel like I can't stretch myself more than I've been stretched. I can't even really see it clearly what it looks like to stretch into the next phase of me. Yeah, go for it.
So to add to that, you know, and I think this is kind of where I was thinking, where I was leading, you know, one of the things that I've learned from my mentor is that life is happening for you, not to you, right? Preparing you for it as you say you've asked for. And oftentimes you've got to just trust the process. We're fighting against things, and going back to what we said earlier about surrender. And, you know, initially when I used to think surrender, I would think battle, war. Surrender is the guy who loses and gives up, and all of a sudden, you know, the village is taken and, you know, and all is lost. And it's not. Sometimes it's just about letting go of the things that you can't control and just letting nature take its course. Because if you're learning the lessons, you're paying attention, you're listening to the whispers, right? Because the whispers are whatever it may be, your guardian angel, it may be your intuition, your gut instinct. That's, I believe, messages that are coming in that are going to lead you and protect you and guide you. So it is about letting go and learning to trust the process, learning to trust yourself, learning to trust the creator, that there is a higher and better plan. And as you guys know, I had an MD at 18, and so I really believe that I'm here for a reason. I'm a different person now than I was before my 18th birthday. So there's a lot that goes into that, and just trusting that it'll be okay and things are going to work out the way they should. There's a saying that says, if it's meant to be yours, it's going to be yours. If it's not, it's not. You know, and people come into your life. People are put into your life at the right time, whether it's for them to help you or for you to help them. Why I say, if you have the opportunity to help someone, you should, because maybe that's God answering their prayers through you. And if somebody's offering you help, you should accept it, because maybe that's God answering your prayers through them, right? Maybe that 405 million came in because that was God answering his prayers through that gentleman that was looking for him. So it's about learning how to trust and let go. And I think that that in my understanding, because, you know, my relationship with God was fragmented when I was a kid, because I would, you know, there were things that were happening and I would pray for life to be better, and it didn't change for a very long time, right? And then again, so there's the sordid story anyway. But just to say that I think that one way to put God first is to be the best version you can be and help those who need help, right? Don't turn your back on people that are struggling, that are hurting. Help where you can. And understandably, you can't help everyone, right? And you've got to make sure that you prioritize, you know, family and a lot of things in your life first as well. Because, you know, you can, because as a, you know, I was having this conversation with someone the other day, you can actually give it all away. You can give all your time away, and then you don't have any time left. You know, I often say that, you know, we give the best of us to the things that don't really matter, and sometimes even to people that don't matter as much, and we go home and we give our family the rest of us. And I've been guilty of that probably more than anybody on this stage, right? So we got to remember to do that, to save some of the best of us for our families and not just the rest of us. So it's about for me, it's about honoring who you are, living in gratitude, understanding that there is a higher power, someone that's guiding you and helping you through, and putting people and things in your life and situations, and even honoring the struggle when you're going through difficulty, and with the awareness that you're supposed to learn something that's going to help you or someone else later on in the process.
Like that. Like that. I like that.
I will add, it was kind of cool this weekend. Willie Robertson is with Duck Dynasty. And as you asked that question, I've always recognized that God has given me the platform that I'm on to use for a specific reason. And I don't use it for it enough, but I do use it. I don't ignore it. But Willie Robertson, their story of Duck Dynasty, he was sharing that from stage, and his dad was the one that ran the company. And he's like, hey, I think I could be CEO and help grow this company. And when he took that over, he came back to him. He's like, hey, there's this reality TV show. Do you want to do it? He's like, no. And he's like, I mean, I think it'd be good for business. And he goes, no. And he goes, I think it'd help get the word out. They were a very religious family, and they brought it to the show a lot. And he goes, really? Well, like, what do you mean? It's like, no, I think we could put that in the show and just bring the word through the show. And he goes, okay, if you believe that's what it'll do. And even then he said, now, once they got going, he goes, still needs to be more word in it for sure. There's not enough of it. He's like, well, Dad, it is TV, but he's now in this Christian business conference because of that. And they're all true to that. So that just anchored again why I think I've even been given the platform, why God has given me that opportunity to have that roll out and show up where it is, to be with you guys every day speaking, and Tony and I going all over the place and meeting up every day on the stage.
Right. I agree with that. Like, when I taught class today, the main theme that I ended with was, you can only be where God puts you. You can't be anywhere else. So you are exactly where you're meant to be on any given moment, any given day. And now what do you do with it from there? And so to me, here's behind me, there's, I don't know where it is, somewhere down here. It says, those who know God. That was the original cover of the Secret Weapon. I went to speak at this place. I'm not going to say who they are, but the government would not allow them to buy the book for 85,000 employees because it said God on the cover. And then I went and shifted the name to the Secret Weapon. And then now at this point, I'm like, I wish I had never done that. Like, I allowed something to put 85,000 books in front of those who know God. So even though the message is still there and it's hidden in it, now I'm like, nah, forget it. There's no shifting the name. It's God first. Like, it just is for me. And so that's kind of where it sits in my spirit, and also living with, in the moments, what does it really look like? Like, all right, am I in a panic? Well, if you're in a panic, you just took God out. As soon as you start to worry, God's gone. Like, because God has the ability to erase those things. So me putting God first says, all right, there's no panic. Like, I gotta actually live into this and have faith and keep moving.
There's a great quote that I share with people on that, and again, the original quote is a little colorful, not much, but it's, when you're worrying, it's like praying for shit you don't want, because you're attracting that into your life, right? Because what you put out is what you get. If you put out worry and stress and everything else, that's what you're going to seek, and you shall find, as it says in the good book. And of course, Rumi, I like Rumi's twist on it when he says, but what you find depends greatly on what you seek. So if you're putting out worry and stress and you're looking, just like if you're looking for a fight, you're going to find one. You're looking for good people, you're going to find them. You're looking for bad people, you're going to find them. So careful what you're looking for. And sometimes when you're worrying, you think that that's a good thing, but it's not, because you're actually worrying like, oh my God, what if this happens? Well, you're kind of calling that into your life. So it's best to just learn to trust. And that's where the whole surrender and let go, let God thing came into my life. Because when I realized that the more I stress out or I worry about something, the more I find reasons to worry. I'm like, oh my God, what if this happens? Oh my God, and if that happens, this happens, and that can happen. And before you know it, oh my, what am I? You can literally go down that rabbit hole and that spiral so bad that you won't even know how to find your way back out. And a lot of people do that.
Tony has done it again. He set me up.
I do what I can.
No, it's just wonderful. I love what you said there. And I just want to add on about trust under pressure. I've known from my journey that when I lean into God properly, I can handle stress, uncertainty, and disappointment better. And I remember something that I've heard a number of years ago, that someone told me, your gift will take you where your character will fail you. So I believe, and this is just me, that God has given me a lot of gifts. And if I work on my gifts, it'll overcome some of the problem parts of my character.
I love that. You know, one of the things that, you know, as you know, you guys know, I've been a trainer with Tony Robbins for about 10 years and been involved with the organization for a long time. When I first became a senior leader, even before I became a trainer, the first person, because, you know, Tony talks on stage with thousands of people and he has these interventions. If you've never watched a Tony Robbins, been to a Tony Robbins event, I'd encourage you to watch the movie or the documentary called I'm Not Your Guru on YouTube. It's free. You can check it out and you get an idea of what we're talking about. So there's a lot of people there that are seeking help or looking to change something in their life. And a lot of people are going through a lot of bad stuff, right? And Tony can only get to so many people. There's a couple thousand people in the audience. If he's asking, person has this problem, that problem, who's suicidal, hands go up. He can't get to everyone. So what he does is he trains the trainers to do what he does from stage, except we're doing it on the side and helping people. And, you know, the first person that I got was like every possible thing that I feared. What if somebody comes to me with this or with that or with this or with that? And it was all of them in one person. And this person she couldn't even tell me what she did because she worked for the government. So you can imagine it's a 3-letter agency. She couldn't really disclose anything, but it was scary as heck. And you know what? Surprisingly, I was able to handle it. And the whole let go, let God, learn to trust, that's where it really shows up for me. If somebody comes to me with something that is unbelievably mind-blowing and shocking, if I'm wearing that hat, I can step into it, lean into it without fear, without hesitation. And I don't know what I'm going to say next. I trust what I'm going to say next because they're not my words. Oftentimes I say words and people ask me, can you repeat that? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I can't, because I was in the flow and something was flowing. I learned to trust my skills, my lessons, what I've learned. And I've learned to trust a higher power that it's going to come through me, what that person needs to say. And sometimes I'm having a conversation with people. Tony's like, damn, how the hell did you know to say that? I'm like, I don't know. I just learned to trust. And that's how it really shows up for me in a really big way. And that probably brought me closer spiritually than anything else. Because, you know, again, being scared, my God, what if somebody comes to me because they were molested, you know, when they were a child and, you know, or this or that and all of these scary things. And I had them all the things that I fear. Talk about what you seek, right? You seek, you shall find. I got it all. So, and because of having these experiences, even some of my own experiences helped me handle some of the experiences that I help people with. So that's where I really learned to let go, let God, and have things kind of flow through me, you know, and you know that my hashtag, my motto is get up and grow, right? Helping people grow through what you go through. So you stop going through it, because until you grow through it, you keep going through it. Right. There's that whole thing of, you know, people die at 75, say, you know, have a problem at 25, you know, get buried at 75, say they live 50 years, but they live the same year 50 times because they never grew through that pain, through that betrayal, through that hurt, through that difficulty that they went through. So they just relive the same year. They never really lived their life, unfortunately. It's a sad case. And this happens with a lot of people because they didn't grow through it. And I was in the middle of an intervention, a conversation with a friend of mine. I was helping him, and just started coming out of me. God said grow, and I said no. And God said grow, and I said no. I must have repeated this 20, 30 times. And then I was interrupted by my son, who was going to bed. This was years ago. And I was interrupted. I came back. Hey, I'm back. He's like, dude, keep reading. I'm like, reading what? Matter of fact, what were we talking about? I didn't even know what I was saying. He just repeated that phrase, and I picked up the thread and I kept going. And the reality is, when pain is just a signal. And sometimes we have pain or difficulty in our life because we're supposed to learn and grow through that. And we'll suffer that pain because God is trying to teach us the lesson. Your hand's on the stove. Take your hand off the stove and it'll stop hurting. No, I'm not going to take my hand off the stove. Well, but that's what you're supposed to do, because that's the signal. And until you pull your hand off, not only will it not stop hurting, but the healing can't begin. So the whole Get Up and Grow thing came through that. So the book I'm writing, and I hope nobody steals the title, and if they do, that's okay. The book that I'm writing now is God Said Grow, and I Said No.
I like that. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I like the title, at least. It'll make some people open it. I'd like to just kind of move it through to where, all right, we've got guys that tune in to hear ways forward, right? Like the men's circle is an opportunity for them to get in touch and connect. What would you say to the person in the struggle right now as it relates to this conversation we just had? Anyway,
I guess I'll go ahead, Dr. Pipe. I don't want to.
No. Okay. I think I would say this, that putting God first isn't about being perfect. It's about being purposely aligned. And I can only speak from my journey. When I put God first, everything else in my life has a better chance of finding its right place. My mind, my home, my work, my relationships. And that I just say, and maybe a closing message here, but my hope that every man here who's watching this live or on replay leaves this conversation asking this question: what would change in my life if I really put God first?
Well, if I could jump in, what I would say is put God first and just learn to trust, right? Surrender, let go of what you can't control, and see how things play out. Learn to trust yourself, the lessons that you've learned throughout your life, as long as you've learned those lessons. And the other thing that I would say is, because I think the largest, and this is why we have this circle, right? And why it's important for more men's groups to start and men to support each other, because the suicide rate among men is far higher than it is among women. 100%. And one of the reasons is we don't talk about our problems because we're all taught to just suck it up, walk it off, right? Why are you crying? Well, why are you so emotional? Why aren't you ever emotional? It's like this, they want you to be emotional, not emotional, show emotion, don't show emotion. So we often bury these feelings. And the reality is, I love this line that says the feelings buried alive never heal, right? They're always going to come back and bite you. So you got to heal what hurt you so you don't bleed on people that didn't cut you. The point of this is, the thing to remember is that there's always somebody out there that's willing to help, to lend an ear. If you're going through a struggle, just reach out, man. Swallow your pride. Reach out and ask for help, whether it be a men's group at your church, because and every church of every denomination has a men's group of some sort. So find your way back to that, or go and search up a men's group on social media. Find one of us, send one of us a message. If you're struggling and you want to give up, don't give up. There's a lot of people that are out there that are maybe suffering what you're going through right now. And I know that it feels lonely when you're going through difficult times because you're the only one that understands. Nobody's gone through it. I'm here to tell you that people have grown through it. People have recovered. And there's those very same people are out there helping other people like you to go through whatever you're going through. So again, accept the help. What I said before, always be willing to help someone, because maybe God is calling on you without you realizing it subconsciously. Someone's put in your path that needs help. Help whoever you can, because maybe God is answering their prayers through you. And I'm going to say it again, ask for help, because there's people out there. There's always somebody willing to help, because maybe God is answering your prayers through someone else. He may not, chances of him coming down directly and helping you are unlikely, yet it's done through other people.
Brad, go for it.
Yeah, I would just say, you know what? It's the earthly world that we live in. Sin exists here. It happens with everyone. Before I shared my story, I was literally the guy that was going to write a book that nothing really bad has to happen to you to write a book. But then I had to have something really bad happen to finally get the book written, because that caused me to meet Michael Gerber, and everything kind of snowballed. And it kind of sucks that Sonia isn't here to reap the reward of what we built over that 20 years and what we share with business owners. But it's like, crap's going to happen. And what I learned from that is, if you're living in comfortable, like right now, you might be uncomfortable and you're dealing with some stuff. The reason why it gets uncomfortable is because you're living in comfortable. And when we get to comfortable, it's comfortable to stay there, right? When you plug into shows like this and people that can talk you off the ledge and give you, just like here in my experience, I've been through it. There's a bunch of people on this planet that have already been through exactly what you've been through. There are people that have lost limbs and they're surfing again. There's people that have lost arms and legs and they're on stage talking and sharing, right? Everybody's been through something. But what I learned, and I was sitting in a room with some very successful people, and the guy talking said, you know why you guys are in this room? Because you don't settle for comfortable. And I was sitting there going, dang, I was pretty comfortable. And I pushed myself again. And here's what I would learn. If you stay out of comfort and you're always growing and always stretching and always reaching for getting that better, getting in a better place, getting a better mindset, if you stay out of comfortable, when bad stuff happens, it sucks you down to comfortable. And comfortable is a great place to deal with stuff because you're comfortable now. So if you got to stretch, you got to always be like on that journey to be better, leave the planet better, whatever, so that when that bad stuff happens and you're comfortable, it gives you the mindset and the awareness to actually get back to above comfortable. But when you get sucked down, even if you're dealing with like somebody who's ill and now you're sucked down into that, it's like, well, you miss work because your mom or your dad's in the hospital. They're not going to make it. You're out for 3 or 4 weeks. You're taking care of them. Now your bills aren't getting paid, and it just sucks. So you just got to keep stretching. Even so, if you're there now, just know it's even a little bit harder struggle because you really got to get back to comfortable, and it's going to be some extra pedal power. And I just I call it putting the pedal to the metal. And I'm just going to pedal as fast as I can for 30 days and try and just get a little bit ahead. And then I'll go for another 30 days and get back to comfortable. So you are kind of working overtime. But once you get there, then, yeah, it's just going to suck you to comfortable. And you get in and out of those situations faster, better. You grow, like Tony was saying. So that was kind of my life lesson through that whole thing. And I say that because when my wife was in the coma, I came home from the hospital, or really the day she passed. So it was 5 months later, it was November 4th. I came home and I just kind of nesty plunged on the couch, but it was so like, it was almost like it had a spring in it. It threw me back up, said, you got to go, dude. You got kids. Like, she's gone. You got to take care of these 4 girls. And it was my 10 years of professional coaching that was my training ground to push me out of my comfort zone, to not, because I had every permission in the world, 20-year wife, business to just curl up and lay there as long as I wanted to. And all my training that I helped other people with, staying out of comfort zone, doing all this stuff, was actually the training for me to stand back up and get going again, right? And then you write a book, and then you write all this stuff. And I sure hope you don't have to have something bad happen to you to have that realization or to get the book out. I just want you to be at your comfort zone, get out of your comfort zone so that you can be back to comfortable if something bad happens.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. Look, we're gonna chop it up in the green room. I'm gonna leave it with this. You know, we've got some interest. I don't think we've had the summons of the comments that we've had today ever, which is great. I think it's great. If I'm meant to read your stuff, though, I'm here to tell you, I'm not putting your comments before God, period. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you do it. God's first. Your comments don't mean anything to me. You know, we're in here, we're having this conversation. I know you all. I trust how we speak into each other's life. And I'm still going to put God first, even on that. So you can say all you need to. Your comments do not reflect anyone in here. They speak about whoever it is making the comments, and that's okay. And I refuse at this point in time. You know, Brad, Tony, and I have been in rooms where it gets heated. Nope, not for me anymore. God's first. I don't care how stupid or non-stupid the comments are, ain't gonna override it. So when I close this up with give up control. If God's first, your comments likely aren't needed because God's first. So even these people that claim to be Christ conscious, following, yada, 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 no, you're not. Because you think you got to say everything. So you think that your comment is necessary for everybody else. And I'm here to tell you, if someone put God first, they're just going to smile and keep it moving because God's first. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to smile and keep it moving. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. I look forward to the next time. Let's keep it moving because there's a lot to do. Peace.
I've been at peace for so long. It seems like I've been sitting all alone. Would you know when the crew is coming through? They're the ones that will make anew. Gotta go, gotta flow, gotta choose the truth. We the ones that will raise the roof. Let's roll up and throw down. Let's go and feel the sound. Good vibes, one try. Can you feel me now? Be you, be me, be free. Go and take it till we bounce the beat. Take it to the streets, make a move the feet. I can slow it down, look in my eyes now. Just like you two want it fast. Spread them wings and make it last. God was the one to erase the past. Time to bring it forward and see the forecast. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Lift your dreams and fill the glass. That was God's broadcast. That was God's broadcast. Time to embrace the peace. Time to embrace the peace. Time to embrace the peace.